When I say make your story make sense when applying for a study visa, this is what I mean. Imagine someone who recently graduated from school and started working probably, let's say, 2 years ago. So you only have 2 years work experience. And according to what you wrote in your letter and the bank statements you're going to provide, you are only being paid, let's say, 3,000 Ghana cedis. Let's assume you are in Ghana and you are being paid 3,000 Ghana cedis a month. And yet you have $30,000 in your bank statement to show as proof of funds. How is this supposed to make sense? Because 3,000 Ghana cedis is not even up to $500. So suppose you didn't even spend a peso from it, and you saved all of this money towards your tuition fees or towards your education. There is no way you can prove that in just 2 years you saved this 30,000 Canadian dollars in your account. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean you cannot use your own statement. Yes, you can have it, but then you would have to explain why you have that much money, because clearly it doesn't come from the work you are doing. So let's say, okay, my father gifted me some money, or maybe I sold a land, or I sold a house that I inherited, something like that. Then you provide evidence for it, and that collaborates your story and shows that yes, it did. Per the documents you've provided and the story you've narrated, it is possible for you to have this much money in your account. If you don't have anything to prove it, then it makes better sense to use someone else's bank statement, like your father or your mom, like your parents, instead. One thing you also have to understand is, in Canada and most of these advanced countries, it's all about the nuclear family. So if you are going to tell me your uncle is going to sponsor you, or your aunt, a family friend, whatever, someone outside the nuclear family is going to sponsor you. Mind you, education around these parts, especially as an international student, is very expensive. So why would that person want to invest such huge amounts in you? Can you tell me or prove to me that after providing this letter and you get into the country, the person is still going to continue spending money on you, sending you the funds that you need to be able to complete your education, and you are not going to be stranded here? And that is where you need to get your story right if you are going with sponsorship. Because if it doesn't make sense, and if you don't explain it, and it's just that, hey, my uncle gave me a sponsorship letter, this is his bank statement, he has this much money, more than enough that you need. Yes, you have all the rights, the right documents, the requisite amount of money and everything, all right, but you will still be denied, because the thinking is that your uncle or your aunt or that family friend can, yes, provide the letter for you, but they will not want to spend these huge amounts on you, especially in the long term. They may be able to just gift you some money to buy a plane ticket or just for you to get here, and once you get here, they are going to stop and you will be stranded, and you are going to become a burden on the economy, and as a result, you will still be denied. So that is one of the risks of using someone who doesn't belong to the nuclear family. But even if you're still using your parents, you still have to explain it properly. But mostly, it's not that much of a hassle as much as when you are using someone outside the nuclear family.